What's up, guys? It's CrispyCollectibles with Nico Watson. You may recognize him from Top 8 at YCS Pasadena. What'd you do today?
Today I took Subterror Guru and I won the local OTS.
Cool. Yeah, let's get into the profile real quick. Got the nice mat right here.
There's our little winner mat. Alrighty, so first off, 3 Guru, bread and butter of the deck. If you don't draw this, you're probably gonna lose. I didn't draw this half the games, so but we got there, so
yeah,
it didn't matter.
2-0'd everybody.
Yeah, I managed to 2-0 everyone. That's great. All right, next monsters. Get your 3 Fiendus. This is a good spot. 3 Fiendus, hand trap, negates anything. Omni, 1 Umostrix. This gets sided out whenever you're going second, but you need to keep it in going first. Just a very powerful card and out certain things, and it's a beater in case you get like randomly Raid Raptor or Falcon.
Right.
Nemesis Archer. Second best card in the deck, honestly. This thing's constantly spinning back extra deck monsters, whatever you need it to do. 3 Ash Blossom, generic hand trap. Card's bad, but it's OTS, so I don't have to worry about using Droll or anything.
Right.
3 Pot of Extravagance. Don't play the deck without it.
Yep.
3 Duality. Whenever I would side, I would cut it down to 2, but you need it just in case you do go first opening. I'll show you why I cut it to 2 every time. 3 Hidden City. Best card in the deck. It's brother terraforming.
Hidden City is basically a guru.
Yeah, it's a guru. That's all that matters. Cave Clash. A lot of people were reading this card all day. I would constantly get it out whenever I would notice that maybe they're setting less to play around evenly, so I could set it up to grab it after I fiended something earlier. It has the recursion effect with Guru. Most people don't play it, but it gets you to a grind game. And really, once the board's been broken, this ends the match.
Right.
2 Called by the Grave. This was only because this is an OTS, which means we're going to see a lot more Ash and other hand traps. I need to make sure my cards resolve. This would get sided out depending on all the matchups, but I just need to make it so game 1, when those hand traps like Ash are in there, I have the chance.
Right.
2 Final Battle. If you ever played a third, you would cut the Cave Clash. I'd rather have the recursion lockout matches.
Right.
2 outs to Mystic Mine. Yeah, it's versatile. A lot of the times I would use this as an out to Mystic Mine if I needed to, where I'd just leave the 1 monster on board and bounce it to hand to end phase pop it. It also works as a defensive card, so it's a Swiss Army knife, and it helps to break boards if you do go second.
Right.
I wouldn't recommend Crackdown right now, personally. 3 Old Men. 3 more Old Men.
A lot of old men.
Yeah, gotta have them. They're good. 3 Impermanence. This is the other hand trap in the main deck. Card's not honestly that great this format, but because it's a trap, Subterror, you can slow play it. And if you play this card right, like set in certain scales, play around pendulums, hold in hand at the mid game, so when your opponent does set a card, you can go turn 2 or 3 and set it to get something. Or if they overextend in like a mirror match or like an Altergeist deck, you make sure to set in their 1 open column and try not playing their back row so you can bait out their desires and extravagance negates.
Right.
Final card, Floodgate. There can only be 1. It's good against everything but Spiral, so might as well run it.
Right. So how many cards were in the main deck?
40 exact. I didn't want to get any more. I wanted to try and increase the odds of getting Guru or any kind of card. All right, so should we get the laugh first?
Sure, let's go with the extra deck.
All right, so I didn't really care today. Normally I play Altergeist, but I decided I'm going to play Guru because people keep telling me the deck's bad and it doesn't work anymore.
And then you just prove them all wrong,
Yeah,
and you win a 60-man OTS tournament.
Yeah, 2-0 everyone.
Literally didn't lose a game.
Went second more than half the time. I think like 3/4 of the time I was going second game 1.
And didn't see Guru like 30% of the time either. Like, it's just like you shouldn't have won, but like you just did because you're a good player with the deck.
So whenever you don't see it, and anytime you're playing any kind of control deck, you got to follow like what I like to call the PEMDAs. You have to determine what's more important in the gate and the order of what to do it. This way certain cards have more variance. So like when I played a mirror match, which I was surprised to see, at one point I knew he committed to the board and he had his own set Guru. So all I did was set mine and set Judgment to try and play around Strike or Ash. This way if he did go for it, I could try and black out and recur my card. Alright, so now for the extra deck monsters, my Altergeist extra decks, we got Ningirsu, Brian Banshee, P. Masquerena, Boral Sword. This, which you actually do make the link to, is occasionally, if your opponent ever sets up like, say, a Mystic Mine, you can actually just out it by just making this and killing your own monster. So Gurus tend to struggle against Mystic Mine if you're not careful. Unicorn, this is all fake. Realistically, if you did want an actual extra deck, you either play Super Poly targets or you would play like 3 of these and 3 Link Rebo. The goal is like against dinosaurs or some decks that create tokens, you need a way to get rid of it. So, for example, I played a dino earlier. I set up the Link Rebo, and I managed to use this token, and then I put it in the graveyard. Whenever he would give me the token before he could Overraptor, I would tribute out for the Link Rebo. This way I could play around the Jurassic World's popping his own monster.
Right.
Now for the side deck, so my theory was I watched the guy that topped the YCS, and I said, hey, he's kind of right. This deck is once you've broken the board and you can establish, you only need to establish 1 or 2 cards to get your engine going. You will outgrind anyone. So all I needed to do was basically break the board, and I sided the same cards all day long. All right, so these draws were in case I saw Spiral, which ironically, I didn't see anyone playing it. I saw like maybe one guy, and he brickhand twice and just left.
Yep.
All right.
I see a lot of people dropping that deck.
Yeah, it's just dying off. There's more consistent things like Dinosaur, Shadal, Salamangreat has high consistency. All right. Tunabiru, I sided in once or twice. This card's only good against certain matchups like Salamangreat and stuff where you need to end them out.
Right.
1 Prankatops. This pretty much goes in every game too. This replaces a duality. This is just a generic way to beat over things, going second, extra attack power, pop a card if I need to. 2 Gizmet Kaku. Basically, same situation from against Shadal, Salamangreat. Need something to get over their monsters. If you wanted to, you could actually cut the extra deck cards and put in 15 Super Poly targets and probably swap these for targets for certain matchups.
Right.
That'd be a recommendation for me. 2 Lightning Storm. Card's broken. Beats every control deck if you're not careful around it. This is the reason I play this today, is just because Fiendus can stop it and make it easier for me to play around them. And as long as you hold the Fiendus properly, game 2, you're going to win it.
Yeah.
Card's amazing, clears boards, and the theme of the thing is I just need to clear boards. I don't really care about what they're doing. As long as I break that board once, I'll auto-win. So.
Right.
And the last 2 cards, 2 Heavy Storm Dusters for control mirror matches or like various things. Like I played against an Infernoid when they try and set up their field spell, or for the Jurassic World, this card sucks against dinosaurs, but it takes out World so I can keep targeting my own cards.
Makes sense.
So that's what we did.
Anything in the side deck you would have changed?
Maybe cut the Kakus for Super Polys for the certain matchups. I thought I would see more Spirals, so I kept them in, but honestly, they weren't very useful. If I were to do something, maybe cut these for either Super Polys and then cut maybe 1 or 2 cards, because I had people that would make me go first, which I thought was strange.
Right.
Maybe drop either 1 Nibiru or a Droll, or just cut the Drolls. Well, I wouldn't do that, because then you'll lose the Spiral if it shows up.
Right.
But, try and fit in 2, maybe, what's the name of that trap? Summon Limit.
Summon Limit.
This way I have an extra way if I do get pushed to go first to get an auto win. So like maybe like same against dinosaurs, they go to produce my token, I flip the Summon Limit, that's their 2 summons, their turn's over.
Makes sense. Cool. Is there any shout outs or anything that you want to give?
Shout out to Brian Ortiz, friend Scott Berry, people at JJ's, this guy next to me. What's up, my boy? And Corey Michaels and Peter in New York, my teammates.
Cool.
All right.
All right, guys, as always, keep it crispy.